Hey, good morning everybody on the internet. This is Blind Justice on the streets of Aberdeen, Washington, sitting out front of City Hall. This is day 32 of our peaceful protest, Resting is Not a Crime. And wanted to talk briefly about humanity and the state of being human, or the human condition rather. So we're human beings, right? We're not human doings. There's been, I don't know, stronger and stronger emphasis in the last century about doing. Busy, right? You gotta fill up your day, you gotta fill up your calendar, you gotta be busy doing things. And, since we moved here, I've heard a handful of people say, in different settings, I think one was actually in the council meeting, one of the council meetings, a member of the public said something about, having multiple jobs so they stay occupied, right? To occupy my time, to keep me out of trouble, and things like that. And I've heard a few people say that, walking around town and talking with people. And it's this interesting phenomenon that has happened in the last century or so, where people feel this urge to constantly be doing, and it's really kind of opposite of our nature as humans, like to be, right? And there's something incredibly empowering and uplifting and encouraging and fulfilling with being, with not having an agenda, with not having a timetable, right? You can probably think of a time going on a vacation, and your vacation, always in the back of your mind, you have this expiration date. Oh, it's a 7-day vacation or whatever, 3-day vacation. You're like, oh, well, I only have how many hours left in the day, and I've got to do this, and this, and then I've got to go back to the grind and go back and do work. Well, that's sad, because we have a great capacity to be, and unfortunately not many people take the opportunity to be in the moment, to rest, to sit, to observe, to notice what's going on with their body, like their breath or their heart rate, or notice what's going on around them. Like, you guys can probably hear the fountain beside me, right? Hear the traffic, hear the birds. You can really tune into what's going on around you if you sit and learn to be in the moment. And last week or so, walking around getting signatures on petitions in this town, have really noticed how downtrodden the general populace is here, and even depressed, like oppressed for sure, because of all the different ways that people are trying to survive and thrive, and have obstacles blocking them, pushing them down, some of which is due to city council and the local government, the state and federal governments, like regulations and things that they've done so that the people, makes it harder for the people to thrive. And some of it is a social thing, where the people have kind of done it to themselves, not necessarily individually doing it to themselves, but social groups making it harder to assist one another or open up to others. Kind of this awkward peer oppression. And so I've noticed a lot of sad, lonely, scared, depressed people in the town. And depressed is an interesting word, because I think a lot of times one of the best solutions for being depressed is deep rest. So that's kind of a auditory play on words, right? And it's definitely not spelled the same, but you need deep rest, and that deep rest comes with being, comes with sitting, comes with laying down, comes with not having all of these different things that you feel like you have to do, right? All this agenda, all this stuff that you put on yourself, all this baggage that you've added to your life to crush you, to stress you out, right? And that crushing, that stressing is that being depressed, being crunched, being oppressed, right? And so we need deep rest. We need to be able to rest. And that just not for 5 or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, right? And it's not flipping on the TV and zoning out. That can be an introduction to rest, maybe. A step in the direction of rest. But then your thoughts aren't there in the present, aren't with your life, aren't with the stress. You're not facing it and trying to address it. You're not trying to heal. When animals get injured in the wild, like think of a deer, it goes into a little thicket and gets a little low, lays down, and lays there for days until it recovers. It rests. It knows, like, I need to rest and recover, and then I can get up and go. It doesn't even go get food, right? So there's some wisdom in that, and that we can find rest, find some peace, find some healing in the resting moments to rebuild ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and connect at deeper levels with who we are. And so there's another word, persona, right? People have different personas they put on. And interesting, that word comes from the Latin, and in the Greek history, they used to wear masks in theater, right? And so those masks were called personas. So they would be like really big, smiley or frowny face or whatever. And that was the persona that the actor was trying to say, all right, now I'm upset, angry face, or now I'm sad, so that the people in the audience can see more of the expression, what was going on with the actor. So it was a persona, it was a mask, literally a mask. And so different personas that people have that you may be portraying, sometimes for yourself. Sometimes you wear a mask for yourself to say, okay, I'm okay, I'm all okay. And even though you know that you have things that you need rest to work out, right? To think through or to talk out with somebody. And it's all these different tasks and agendas and things that we put on ourselves to stress us out, typically need a different persona, need a different hat to put on, need a different, oh, now this is this mask. All right, I'm going to address it like this. And so it becomes this crazy, stressful juggling game of which mask, to put on to handle a situation, rather than being deeply rooted in yourself and knowing yourself and being yourself, like, all the time, without having to throw on different masks to try to address different stressful situations. So yeah, that's just a few thoughts on human being versus human doing. I think we can definitely all get more healing out of it by being instead of always having to do. Interesting that it's Sunday, and it's in the Christian tradition the day of rest, right? Which is another interesting thought, because in that tradition God wasn't tired. It's not like he got all worked, the all-powerful got all tuckered out for creating for 6 days, and then he's like, oh man, I just need to take a break. No, it's okay. I did what I set out to do, and now I'm gonna be, and it's interesting because when Moses asked for a name, what he literally got back from the burning bush was the verb to be, being, I am, right? So there's a lot of wisdom in that from the Christian and the Jewish tradition there. So it's resting doesn't have to be because you overworked or you're some people have tried to define that during this protest, like, well, resting is only if you've done something and then you can take a little break. But no, that's a misunderstanding of what resting is. Resting is the natural state of being for humans. for humanity. And we've got it twisted, right? We've got worked up in the toiling and the doing, right? So to continue on in that Christian and Jewish tradition, like, that was the consequence of not being, right? Was the doing, was the eating of the forbidden fruit. And then it was like, okay, now you're gonna have to work hard. Now there's gonna be struggle, right? So our natural state, our state in the beginning, our perfect state, is that of rest, that of unity with the planet, with each other, with God. And so if you're feeling oppressed or depressed, I encourage you to find some deep rest today, tomorrow. Set aside some time every day to rest, maybe meditate or journal or pray and recover. Get back into a healthy you. Find out who that is without all the masks. All right, peace and love to you guys. We'll be out at Walmart later on today because we have the solicitation agreement there. We can petition. So come catch us there afternoon, and anytime you want to come out and talk or chat, come on out. All right, you guys have a great day. Deo Presto Libere.